Hi everybody, welcome to another live from Monkey World. I'm down here at Hananya's house. We're waiting, the guys are just having their bedroom prepped and then we're going to be watching them go to bed. I'm here also with Ruth, and Ruth's going to tell us a little bit about where the guys are being, what the guys have been up to today, how the playroom's being prepped, and a little bit of the nighttime routine from the keeper point of view. I'm just going to hold on for a second while I wait for everyone just to come online and join us. Hopefully you've all seen that it's going on today. Thank you again to everyone who's been supporting us and liking these videos so far. Really hope you're enjoying them. Do pop me a like and a thumbs up so I know that you're here and can see us all while we're going. Great to see you. Hi Courtney, hi Angela. Oh, good, people are coming in now. Great to see you all, thanks very much. Just a little reminder, if you are enjoying the lives, there is a stars button. You don't have to do it, it's completely your choice. But if you are enjoying them, there is a stars. You can send us a star and that does equate to funds right here at the park to help us keep going during this time. Great. They're coming in. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Julie. Okay, I'm going to turn us around. We've got Ruth here with me.
So, hi guys, good afternoon. As Charlie said, my name is Ruth. I'm one of the primary care staff here at the park, and I'm here at Hananya's chimpanzee house. We're just getting ready to bring them in for their evening feed. It's a pretty wet, dreary, dark day, so they're all ready to come in. So Hananya's house is a lovely house. It's got two massive big playrooms, one here beside me and one further over behind me. At present, what we've done is we've gotten all of the chimps out of this playroom and made it safe so we can actually go in and add in all of the evening items. So at present, my colleague is in there. She's just putting some bedding in, some lovely wood wool, some lovely straw, and some wonderful blankets, duvet covers, sheets, towels that many of you have probably donated. A big thank you and a thumbs up for those. They're much needed during the winter months. So as she's fluffing everything out to make sure it's distributed well, she will then start putting in the food. We tend to try and make sure everything's really well distributed so that everybody gets a fair share of not only the bedding but also the food as well. So the guys are next door, getting quite excited and they want to come in. Once we have finished prepping and got all the food spread out and scattered around, what we'll do is we'll lock up the doors, make sure everything is absolutely safe and ready to go. And then they have access to a tunnel right underneath our feet here. So we will actually then let them in through the tunnel, in they go, in to get some food. Once they've all gone through, at that point, we'll then shut off the tunnel, which means we have access to the other playroom. We'll make sure that's safe. We'll put in some more bedding and some more food in and make sure everybody's in for the night safe and sound. Once we have them all in for the night, we actually always make sure and double check, as it's easy to miss someone. So we always carry out what we call a tick sheet. So each member of staff then ensures that all of the animals are in by ticking off each name as we see them. And making sure that everybody's in, comfortable and nesting down for the night.
And how do the guys know it's time for bed? How do they know it's their bedtime routine?
They generally get in the routine during the day. They kind of know, almost like you'd know that it's starting to get tea time, your tummy's starting to rumble a little bit, you're getting tired, it's getting to the end of the day. So they have this lovely routine that keeps them coming in. The fact that we're prepping it with bedding and putting food in is also a really good sign that food is coming. So it's pretty clear to them what time of the day it actually is. They do particularly enjoy this time of day. We tend to give them some nice food items in there. We do also make sure that we put nice food items in the other side. So if we've got two different items, we'll keep the nicer one for the second side, just so that they've got the whole house.
To encourage them to spread out.
Spread around, and to encourage them to forage as much as we possibly can.
So we often get asked what are nice food items for these guys. So what do they look forward to getting? What is a nice treat for them?
Well, to be honest, chimps love everything. They particularly like their fruits, so your apples, pears, bananas. They love their exotic fruits, like their mangoes, grapes, absolutely love them. They are a major fan of their veggies too, particularly carrots because they're lovely and sweet, but they do like all of their lettuces, cucumbers, peppers, fennel. They eat everything. They love everything.
So, and what are they getting tonight in here?
So tonight in here they're going to have carrot in this playroom, and then when we move them over and open up the whole entire house, they'll have some fruit in the other side. They've got a mix of oranges, pears and some tomatoes in there as well. So it's a really nice evening feed.
Oh, lovely.
So as you can see, my colleague is just spreading around all the blankets to make it nice and comfortable. We like to spread the bedding down below and up top so that they have to actually work to bring it up to build their nests at night. So, we make things hard for them.
Like they'd have to do in the wild. Then
exactly, like they'd have to do in the wild. They have to gather it all up and then carry it the whole way up, which can be quite a task for some of them. But it does keep them fit, it keeps them healthy, it gets those muscles working, and it does mimic how they would act in the wild as well. So.
And so Jess actually tucked some towels into the grill there as well to make it even harder to... So they've got to look around for them, presumably?
Yeah, just a bit of fun. Anything that makes them move a bit more, makes them use those muscles and try and strengthen those muscles. And also it's quite entertaining for them as well. They love to enjoy taking things out that are wrapped up. So.
Carolyn's asked a question. She wants to know, do they go straight to sleep or play for a little while as well?
You have a mix. You'll find some of the chimps really love their beds and just want to tuck up straight away. Others, like for example Shamak, will probably keep playing for quite a while, and then he'll eventually start to nest down. We don't leave here until approximately 5 o'clock or thereabouts, so you tend to find a lot of them are still up and about until we actually leave.
See some carrot bit flying from
so
the top.
So carrot going in, which they do. As you can hear, they're all getting very excited, knowing the food is going in.
I always think primate care staff should have, during an interview, a good throwing arm technique. They should be tested on it, because it does seem to be so much throwing of upwards of their
Funny
food.
You should say that, Charlie.
Do you have to do it?
We actually do teach people how to throw. Particularly off the towers when we throw in the outside enclosure.
Yes.
We tend to find there are some techniques that are better than others to throw far and wide. So simple things like putting slightly less on the scoop means it will go further and wider than having a whole scoop full. So
it will spread out the individuals on the floor as well.
Exactly.
For group dynamics.
Yeah,
got it.
Spread out as much as possible, hide it in the wood wall so they have to search forage just exactly like they would do in the wild.
We'll put pressure on Jess now by watching and seeing how well she's throwing up high. We'll score out of 10. I'm just seeing if there's any more questions coming in. Great to see you guys all listening. Thank you so much. Chris wants to know, how long do they sleep for? Is that like us as well? Is it different on the different individuals? Or
You generally tend to find overall it will be similar to us. So they'll go down as the sun starts to go down, and first light they'll start to get up. Very similar to us. You have early risers and you have late to bed, and others will stay in bed all day if they could. For example, in this group you will find Shamak is one that has bundles of energy and is generally up late and up early. However, Zainab in this group, one of our females, she loves her bed, and you will find she is still asleep in the morning when we come in at 8, half 8 in the morning. So it really is preferential with the chimps, but generally their sleep times would be similar to us, so they'll go to bed as the sun goes down and they'll get up as the sun comes up.
So a little bit earlier in winter then, when it's a bit darker earlier.
Earlier in winter, you will sometimes find, like we do, they'll get up, have a bit of toss around and move around and then back to bed again. But yeah, in the winter when it gets a bit darker, you will find they'll bed down a little bit earlier.
Someone else asked, is there any preference to who beds down with who? Does any sleep together? Cherry and Thelma are used to. Are they still sort of bedding down together, or is Thelma now grown up enough she's off on her own?
We have seen Thelma just making her own nest at this stage. You will find that they have a favourite few different spots, so they'll rotate around, so they won't always sleep in the exact same place every night, but they do have a few favourite spots. And you will tend to find that some of them will nest down together. For example, Jess and Arthur generally tend to nest down together. You'll have the dominant males, quite often with the dominant females, not necessarily together, but at least in the close proximity to each other. So,
lovely.
Yeah, and others solitary, want to sleep on their own.
Fabulous, thank you. I'm hearing clanking. Does that mean Jess is almost done and we need to think about moving these guys across?
I think by the sounds of it, yeah, she seems nearly done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head downstairs. I'm going to check up locks, make sure everything's safe and everything's gone in that should have gone in, and then we will let them through and have their dinner.
Fabulous. We'll see you in a minute.
See you later.
Yeah, thanks, Ruth.
Bye.
There we go, guys. It's so nice to have Ruth and one of the private care staffs who looks after these guys all the day telling us exactly about them. So I thought I'd use the opportunity while we could. I'll set up here and hopefully you can see. So that's the slide where the guys will come through. They're in the other playroom at the moment, and then that will be opened up and they'll come through. And we've also got a tunnel underneath us that will probably be opened up as well. So they've got 2 ways to get into this playroom. But I'll try and set myself up over here so you can see them. Looks nice and cosy, lots of nice fresh blankets, fresh wood wool. Fantastic. Hope you all can hear me okay, can see me okay, and are enjoying it. I'll go back through while we're waiting for Ruth just to set the guys across and see if I can answer any more of your questions. Lots of them I know I might save for when Ruth is back with me, because if they're specific on individuals, then she'll be able to give us a better answer. I know, Lisa. Thank you for the stars. Here they come. And they're very excited, but instantly calm, look. So you see how they come in, they go across the bottom. There's the big man himself, that's Hananya. Just trying to make sure we've got light out. Yeah, so they go across the bottom and then start climbing up and seeing what's on offer today. Ooh, Sally's doing chimpanzee artwork. Fantastic. Please send it to us. We'd love to see it. There's Thelma at the back there. Just what someone asked who Thelma spends time with. Yeah, she does spend a lot of time with Cherry, but she's very popular with the others as well. Let me come in here. Let's see if we can see her a little better. There she is. Who is the oldest chimpanzee in here? I think Cherry is one of the oldest in this group. This is actually quite a young group compared to our other groups at the park. The majority of these guys were rescued from pet trade, whereas a lot of our other groups have lots of the Spanish beach photography chimps are in. So these are more recent rescues as such. Patricia's got handfuls there. Oh, and so's Honey. Oh. And again, very typical for chimps settling down. I think that was Cherry going across, making her point no there. Hananya's just coming up to get involved, making sure everyone calms down. I think it's Marjolaine protesting. Jess is coming up to do her all clears. To check that no one is left in the other bedroom so we know where everybody is. There we go. And after that World War III, everyone's just calmed down again. Let's see if we can zoom in on Hananya's little group here. So Hananya's there with Thelma. Thank you very much for the stars, Brian. That's very kind. Yeah, Sue, they are very noisy. At times, it's exactly like toddlers. It'll be very noisy for about 30 seconds and then completely silent again as they all settle down. Do the primate care staff have to wear ear defenders for any of the groups? Yeah, we have ear defenders in the Gibbon house actually, because when they all sing quite loudly, it does reverberate around that house and it can be get to quite deafening levels. So we do have ear defenders in them for when the guys are in there working. Thank you for the stars, Sally. That's really kind. Wonderful. So as I was saying, yeah, this is our sort of youngest and biggest group at the park. So this group has 18 chimps in it, led by Hananya, who's the dominant male. The other males in this group are Arthur, Simon and Shamak. Arthur's he's just down on the floor here. I think he's just gone out of reach. He might have gone into one of the bedrooms that's just underneath us. There's Simon. Evelyn's next to him there. I can't see Shamak currently. That's Johnny at the top. She's one of the dominant females in the group. Heather, yeah, if you haven't visited the park before, it does get quite noisy at feeding time. So we do tend to hear a lot of this noise, and people often do get a little bit concerned who haven't maybe visited before or have only watched this on the TV show. But that is very, very normal for us. There's Trudy, just down there on the floor as well. I know Trudy's one of a very popular one. Very popular young lady. Checking there's no carrot left. In the woodwill, it's all in her hands now. Ah, Sally, more stars, thank you. Let me go back and have a look at any... Oh, Helen says she's having trouble sending stars. So she's going to use the Amazon wishlist. Thank you. Really do appreciate that. I hope you're well, and it would be nice to see you at fundraising events hopefully this year. Yeah, no, thank you so much. The Amazon wishlist is also fantastic, so that's great. Oh my goodness, there's lots of stars coming in now. Thank you so much. I'm trying to keep up with them all. Emma, thank you. And thank you for adopting Hananya as well. Jennifer, they can have like 5 feeds a day. So we spread the feeds out to give them plenty of things to do. Obviously eating's quite a fun activity. We don't want it to be too quick, so we tend to make sure they're scatter feeds. So we chop the food up, scatter it around the enclosure. Move you across to here. So they take a little bit of time to forage as well. Mark wants to know how many females are there. In this group, there's 4 males. Let me check that. Hananya, Shamak, Arthur, and Simon. So there are 14 females in this group. Someone wants to know where the big man is, where Hananya is. You wouldn't think I'd be able to lose a chimp quite that big, but I can't see him at the moment. If you guys spot him, let me know. There he is. Just adjust the cap. Yeah, Lisa, they are monitored overnight. So obviously in the winter they stay in, they don't have outside access, it's a bit chilly for them. But yeah, we do monitor them overnight still. I'm just going to remove this. Hi Laura, nice to see you. Helen, I think I'm going on Track Fest as well, so I will see you and Chloe there. That's a JCMF event, Jim Cronin Memorial Fund fundraising event that they're running. Hopefully, of course they've been hit really hard this year, 2020 with the pandemic, so we're hoping that all their fundraising events will go ahead in 2021, so it'll be good to see you then. Andrew wants to know why Hananya has silver hair. Just like us, they have different hair patterns, different hair colours. So Hananya has a bit more silver. We often get asked if Arthur is old, because particularly during the summer he goes quite light. No, he's actually one of the younger ones, but he is just slightly grey. He has more grey hair. That's Cookie just climbing up there. Where these guys spend a bit more time together inside in the winter, they spend a bit more time grooming, and this group do have a habit of over grooming a little bit. If you go back and watch one of the Monkey Lives, it's where Kiki arrives. I think it's series 5. Alison does go into sort of culture of over grooming and why that has happened, but we think it's to do with their earlier lives. Keeping at Hananya's way there. It's quietly moving away. Yeah, the earlier lives and their earlier abuse. Obviously in the winter they spend a bit more time inside in groups grooming, so they do tend to get these little bowl patches. Simon's just had a look up over us. You can just see him sat behind, just moving along that platform now. And he's just spotted we're up to something up here, so we'll keep an eye on him. Kate wants to know what their age range is. The youngest chimp in this group is Thelma. She is 7. And Cherry is in her 30s. A lot of our guys, we don't know their actual official ages. We know Thelma's because she was born here. But when they were smuggled from the wild and stolen from their mothers and then into the illegal trade, so illegal pet trade for a lot of these, Cherry went into the Spanish beach photographers trade. We can only estimate their birthdays, so it's all a guess. Joe wants to know if we did a similar video with Bart's group. We did one last week, Joe. We did their morning routine, actually. We did them going out. So we are spreading it around a little bit, trying to get around the park. We'll try and see some of the orangutans. I think we've got a woolly live and a gibbon live set up as well. There's Shamak peering up. Honey very sweetly hoping she might get something from Johnny there. I'm just going to scroll back to see if there's any more questions coming through that I can try and answer. So I will leave you guys kind of in the corner watching them a little bit. Oh, Jenny's going to Trek Fest too. Fantastic. Glad you're enjoying the lives, Holly. It's really nice to hear people in it. Tracy, Trudy, Tootie's in this group. I will try and see her for you. The comment just disappeared as I was scrolling to it then. But yeah, she's in this group here. Tootie came from Saudi Arabia. She was rescued from there where she was kept as an illegal pet. And a lot of these guys did come from more of the Middle East region. So Hananya, Shamak came from Israel. Simon. Then Kiki came from Lebanon. Cookie and Zaynep came from Turkey, so kind of Europe, Middle East. And it's gone quiet again. And Honey came from Dubai. Hi, you. Oh, look at this. Look how amazingly gymnastic she is now. A far cry from that little girl in a cage after she came from the small cage in Lebanon, who had absolutely no muscle tone and was sort of wobbling around the enclosure. Ah, there's Tootie. Just climbing down there. Sorry, I missed her. She was up. I was so busy looking at Kiki's gymnastics. Oh, so many nice comments coming in. Thank you so much, guys. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And do let us know if there's anywhere else you want to see at another time. We'll try and set it up. We're trying to make sure we set it up with really good Wi-Fi at each place as well, so that you get a really good view of the guys and no blurry pictures. There's Honey. So we were just talking about Honey. She was rescued from Dubai. She was actually illegally smuggled to Dubai as a pet. And then she was taken in by the Crown Prince of Dubai. So she had a whole sort of wing of the palace and an amazing wardrobe of clothes as such. But obviously a palace is absolutely no place for a chimpanzee and not a very nice life for her at all, really. So she came here to live with others of her own kind. We don't think she misses it. So they're just opening up the other room now. Looks like it's just been prepped on the other side. So they wander around. Which is what I think the commotion was about. They knew the guys were prepping on the other side. So they're excited to come in and get here. This looks like lots of tasty oranges, actually. I should have come and filmed. I'm getting ready. Who's hanging on the floor? I think that was Jess and Arthur having a cuddle on the floor. Yeah, Grace, I think Orangutan Nursery is high on our list to try and make sure we get the a live from. We will try and set that up. Probably in the morning when the guys are going out for breakfast. Helen Rob wants to see Mikado. Yep, I think we're going to try and do some of the gibbons at some point. So you can see Thelma's completely lost her white tuft now. She is now a grown-up girl in all but size. Although she is very lanky as well. Kerry wants to see the Stumpies. Yeah, we're doing an educational live from the Stumpies tomorrow. I will be putting up later today the times that we'll be doing that. Here she comes. So we'll be at the Stumptail Macaque House tomorrow. Here's Ruth.
Hi guys.
We're back.
So you've seen them all going in, getting very excited over their carrot. Whilst they were all enjoying that feed, myself and my colleague have put some extra nice fresh bedding in this side and prepped it with yet another nice feed. And then check everything is safe, make sure we've taken all of our choke tubs out, and then let them through. And they now have access to both playrooms, the tunnel underneath, and also a side bedroom at the moment.
Fantastic. So they've got lots of nice space, and that's what they have overnight now.
Loads of space. They do have 2 more bedrooms in the kitchen that we will give them slightly later on. We've shut the doors. We're happy they're all in. We've counted them, 18. But counting isn't always very reliable. Human error. So we do our tick list.
Fabulous. We'll watch you do it.
So
that's
we've
all
got
right.
18 in this group. We've got 4 males and 14 females. Lot to learn. We'll get there eventually. So we literally check to make sure that we've seen absolutely everybody and tick them all off our list. Generally we will do this downstairs, but since we're on here today, we might as well do it up top, why not?
Thank you.
And it's just a question of trying to find absolutely everybody.
It's amazing how even in these rooms you can miss people. Someone just asked me where Hananya was, and I know he's in one room, and I couldn't see him, even though he's a great big bulking male.
So easy, and it's one of the reasons why we're very careful when we do get them all in, because once they're all in, we service their enclosure, and we've obviously got to be very careful that we're sure everybody is in. So we make sure we can see faces and we know exactly who they are before we say the enclosure is safe.
Yeah, no one wants to be face to face with a chimper.
Very definitely not. And these guys can be quite tricky. Sometimes they're wonderful, they look straight up at you and are very easy to find. Other times you're searching for a while because they don't stop moving.
Hello, can you just say that 50 now?
And because we've got both playrooms, we've got to find them between both playrooms.
So you've got Honey and Zainab in here, is that it? They're
Yeah,
the only
that's
ones I
Honey
can
and
spot
Zainab.
in here.
You'll tend to find some of the individuals like to come in, grab a handful of food and then come back into the quieter playroom to eat in peace.
Yes.
I don't blame them. I do the same.
Laura wants to know where Evelyn is. Let's see if we can spot her. There's Hananya climbing up there.
Just saw her down the bottom. She's just climbing up here and sitting on the green.
Ah, yeah, there she is. So she's just on the right hand side of the screen now, on the sort of middle height platform. Thank you for all the people who are using stars for the first time. It's so nice to see. It's great. Liam, yeah, we will try and do a video on Lulu. She's in Brian's group, so not this group today, but we will try and do it at some point. Let's see what Hananya's up to. Inciting trouble, I think.
Hananya does like to do his dominance displays, and it's wonderful to see the respect from everyone that they move out of his way.
Yeah, so if you didn't hear that, Ruth was just saying that Hananya does his dominance displays and everybody shows what a good leader he is by respecting him and moving out of his way. So generally, how long will they eat before they settle down? Is it a case of clearing everything off the floor and then they'll settle down and start thinking about bedtime, or is it individual as well?
It is quite individual, but because the feed is really quite nice and it's fruit, I can envision they will not go to bed until they've found every last piece.
Yeah, okay. So we've got to clear the buffet away before
Yeah.
thinking about it.
Generally, we do find that there is some food left over come in the morning, and that's always a good sign because it means that they've had their fill.
They're not hungry.
So you want to see
Yeah.
some food, but not in excess.
Yeah.
If there's too much, you're feeding them too much.
Yeah.
And if there isn't enough, they're hungry.
Yeah.
So that's a good judge.
Beth wants to know, how long does it take to clean their enclosures?
That is the age-old question. Very dependent on the day and how dirty they've been. It can take approximately an hour and a half if you're going to do a full proper scrub, take all bedding out and scrub absolutely everything.
Yeah.
You can do it quicker if you need to.
So is it an hour and a half for one playroom like this?
Yeah.
Just wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It tends to take a little bit longer in these playrooms because with all the platforms up and down, you have to climb up and down with all of your tools as
And
well,
with all your
so
harnesses
it
on.
can take a while. We tend to find that cleaning is a large part of the day. As you can probably see, they're not the cleanest of animals.
No, I think everyone always says that about primate care stuff. Like, we'd love to have their job; it'd be a fantastic job. A lot of it is cleaning, food prep.
A huge amount is cleaning, food prep.
A lot of hard work goes into it.
Prepping enclosures, a lot of heavy hard work into it. It is absolutely wonderful and it is very rewarding, but don't be deceived, it is hard work.
That's Kiki sat next to Thelma. Who would have just asked that? Thelma has just moved down.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
Kiki.
Yeah.
On the left hand side up on top. She's slightly lighter in colour on her face.
Are the bedrooms heated overnight? Yes, they are.
Yes, the house is heated fully all round, all year round. We can obviously alter it by thermostat, but in general we have the temperatures in there anywhere from 18 to 20 degrees. They are tropical animals, so they do need to have nice heat in
Nice
there.
warm. Let's watch Hananya, they're climbing down there. So magnificent. Helen is offering her services as a cleaner.
Anytime. Anytime.
So, do we have any other questions about any of the guys in this group? While we've got Ruth here that can answer all your primate care queries and also anything about the individuals and their stories. I might wander through and see if the guys have moved back over here. It's very graceful. How is Valerie? Tara wants to know.
Valerie is doing really well, actually. She has several really good friends in here, particularly Marjolaine. She gets on quite well with. They're both from the lab. She's middle ranking, so does tend to be quite political and gets on quite well with everybody.
She's one of Hananya's favourites, was that correct?
She is one of Hananya's favourites, yes.
Yeah.
He does have a few secret favourites. Not all, but he does have a few secret favourites, and he does like Valerie quite a lot.
Sandra, Valerie isn't in this room. I will try and grab her in a minute. But on the middle platform there, you've got Jess, Patricia, and I'm not sure whose bum's just turned to me. Cherry.
That's Jess and Johnny and Cherry.
Oh,
just
sorry.
sitting down.
Johnny and Patricia. Let's see if we can see. So Simon dashing to the aid of Hananya there as his right-hand man.
You tend to find in the winter months, because it's so wet and dreary outside, that they do get bored easily.
Mm-hmm.
So we do try and keep them entertained as much as we possibly can. You can see Hananya throwing around some Kongs around the playroom, which are really quite handy to have. We stuff them full of food, and it keeps them busy for quite a while.
There's Tutti just moving across there for whoever was asking about Tutti. She's just at the bottom there. I can't see Val. She might be in one of the back bedrooms, I suppose.
Valerie is just beside Thelma.
Oh, is she at the top?
Yeah.
See, this is why we need Ruth. Oh. And Laura wants to know how Zainab is getting on.
Zainab's doing well. She's one of the lowest ranking in here. She's quite a quiet girl. She does sometimes get in trouble because the more dominance tend to display at her. But she's very clever.
Is she?
Very clever. She knows when to get out of the way. This is her right actually in front of us now. And she knows how to play the primary care staff. She always knows when to come in when the house is quiet to see if she can get some added extra treats.
Bless her. They were talking about asking about the lack of hair, and I was saying this group is one of the groups that does the most sort of over grooming, aren't they? So is that just that it increases in winter when they're spending more time together inside?
It does. Generally, when chimps groom, they move the hairs and part the hairs and take out any bits of dirt that are between the hairs. Unfortunately, this group has learned to actually, instead of parting the hairs and picking the pieces of dirt out, they've actually learned to just pluck the hair itself, which is why you'll find a lot of them are bald. You generally tend to find that they'll groom each other for alliances. So the top ranking will get groomed quite often. They seem to have a signature grooming pattern where they quite often will groom the back of the neck, so a lot of them have the backs of the necks groomed. You do find in winter that they will tend to do it more often because they are inside a lot more, which is why we tend to use our enrichment and anything we can find to occupy them to minimise the hair plucking if at all possible.
Yeah.
So we use our tongs, we use bottles, we use food enrichment, we use sensory enrichment. There's loads of different types of enrichment that we can do. It's one of the reasons why we don't have set feeding times as well, that we can feed them as and when, and we'll spread the feeds out throughout the day constantly to keep them occupied, busy, and just mimic what they should be doing in the natural environment, which is spending the majority of the day foraging for food. Yeah, these guys just unfortunately, instead of parting the hair to take the dirt out, appear to have learned to
They've learned to pluck it out.
the hair instead.
So yeah, there's no sort of medical reason that they haven't got hair. That is just a little culture thing from them. So there's not any harm from it. Ooh, very sweet slide. So that's Valerie at the back there on the platform, just moving the blankets around. Keeping an eye that there's no extra food. What other questions have we got coming in? No, Becky, they're not cold. We've just said they've got heating all through the houses, so they're absolutely fine. George, age 7, wants to know, do they have baths? No. No, chimps don't need baths. That's why they smell so wonderful. Just going back to see some other questions. Thank you for the stars coming in. Anthony sent loads. Thank you. Di's asked, what time of day do they get their treat after medication? I'm not sure what that really means.
Generally in the morning, every morning, we have all of our females on a contraceptive pill. So what we'll do first thing in the morning before they even go out, we will give each of them a contraceptive pill. Once they've taken the pill, they get a reward, which is generally a piece of banana, sometimes some Rivita, generally a piece of banana. if they're on actual medication for an injury or an illness, for example, pain relief or antibiotics, they will get the reward immediately after they have taken those medications.
Okay.
So they get the reward straight away.
To make sure that we can still, they're still encouraged to come and see us. They're all moving through. So what, there's Trudy. Trudy. So what's left on the list of jobs to do for today for this group?
So that's us pretty much done with them for now. We'll probably give out any leftover supplements. We give them cod liver oil, evening primrose oil and vitamin C every day. So if there's any leftover supplements, any leftover meds, we will give them out now. Other than that, it is servicing their enclosure to make sure we can gather up all of the rubbish that's out there. We then clean down and sanitise down the kitchen as well, because we do a lot of work in there. Generally tend to clean the public windows, but at the moment we don't have public in, so that's one less job to do, which is great. Any end of day enrichment and a couple of other little end of day jobs just to make sure everything's nice and neat and tidy. We make sure all the drinkers are filled up, everything's secure, and then once everyone starts to bed down, we turn out lights and off we go.
So they're nice and settled for the evening, then you guys can actually relax for the evening as well.
So when they're inside, they're dry, they're warm, they're fed, and they're
Lovely. All right, we'll let you get on. Thank you very much. Cheers, Ruth. We'll see you soon. Okay. I'll film a little bit more on this group here and try and take a few more questions, and then we'll start wrapping up. If you can see the guys. I'll just pop across and see if any of the guys are starting to nest build or think about getting a little bit cozier. There's our honey, and Jess just there, along the back. Thelma and Simon, I think. Thank you very much for people who are answering the questions if I can't get there as well. I do really appreciate that. Joanne wants to know, do they get daily cuddles? Certainly not from us. They don't need cuddles from people. What they need is cuddles from their own kind, or attention and social interaction with their own kind, which is the main form of enrichment, really. It's the best form of enrichment we can give them, spending time with their family. Susan, no plans for pregnancy. All of our guys are on contraception. We try and save all the space for at the park for rescues rather than pregnancies with the chimps. It is nice to have a baby. Of course, everyone loves having the babies, and they do really cement the group dynamics. But Thelma was born 7 years ago, and she did wonders for this group. She really did bond them all together, but no plans for extra at the moment. Yeah, Sandra, I don't know that there's many washing machines that could cope with these blankets, to be honest with you. So they are, to a certain extent, single use. We sometimes use ones inside for outside instead of move them around. Cheryl wants to know, do we have to clean their teeth? Actually, sometimes we do. We do this as part of our operant conditioning. So we ask the chimps to come to the mesh and perform an action which opens their mouth and shows us their mouth, and we can then use a toothbrush and picks to pick the hair out of their teeth. So that's the only reason we do it, is where these guys do pluck the hair out, they do sometimes end up with hair in between their teeth, which can irritate their gums. And so as a preventative measure, so we don't have to do lots of dental work with them, we do use that operant conditioning to ask the guys to let us check the teeth and also remove some of their hairs. If you go back and look in some of the Monkey Love programmes, there's some nice videos of that as well. I think there may be some on our YouTube channel too. Jenny, they get enrichment every day. Okay. Some really nice comments coming through. Thank you so much, guys. Really happy that you're enjoying it. Bernadette wants to know if Simon and Thelma's still close. Yes, I would say so. I haven't seen anything to the contrary. But as she gets older, he's not as perhaps protective of her as he was when she was a baby. He was quite protective of her and Cherry. Tracy wants to know, do they come and interact with you if they catch us doing a live? Occasionally, they do sort of have a look at the moment because they're not used to seeing people up on this balcony very much. So if we're up here at strange times, they do often come and have a little look and see what we're up to. Or if we've not seen them for a little while, seen certain individuals, they might come and have a bang on the window and tell us off. Okay, so you just see the guys are just starting to quieten down, settle down, thinking of collecting up bedding. Apart from this little monster. Kana says, why are they going to bed so early? They tend to start getting ready for bed when it gets dark. We wouldn't want to leave them outside in the dark, not able to see where the chimps are, so we bring them in before it gets dark, which obviously in the winter is quite early. And then they start settling down for night time. They tend to, as Ruth said earlier, they go to sleep when it gets dark and get up when it gets light. Tracy wants to know, where do the chimps toilet? Everywhere and anywhere. As our primary care staff will tell you when they clean up. Yep, they're not fussy. And they're not particularly clean. Okay guys, I'll just leave you watching these. I'm settling down for a second. I just wanted to make you aware as well, thank you so much for everyone who has sent stars. The people who've been asking, the star scheme is a little Facebook help that you can do. You can buy stars off of Facebook, donate them to live videos that you enjoy watching, and that relates to funds for us here at the park. So especially while we're closed to the public during lockdown and we have no way to make any money through visitors. Thank you, Max, that's really kind. It's an extra little way that people can support us, especially, you know, you can send 1 star is 1 penny, I believe, so not a huge amount of money as well. If you can just send a couple, it would really make it worthwhile. All the people that watch these videos, it would be really, really helpful. The other ways that you can help us, thank you, Zoe, that's really kind, 50 come from you. Other ways you can help us at the moment are all listed on our website. If you go onto our website under donations and appeals, there are things like Amazon wish list, which is really helpful. It has all our items that we need at the moment. The supermarket deliveries, some supermarkets are still delivering to us, which is really nice, and people set up supermarket deliveries of fresh fruit, fresh veg. That really helps with our weekly shop, which is humongous for those items. You can also donate directly to our website. The link is on that donations and appeals page on the website. And we have a GoFundMe as well, if that's easier. So we're trying to make lots of different ways. But hopefully you are all enjoying the lives and the videos and the content, extra content we're putting out. We're having another live on Thursday. I will confirm the time later today. At the Stumptown Macaque House, so tomorrow, sorry, at the Stumptown Macaque House. And this is going to be one of our homeschooling ones. So we're going to be with Annie from the education team. Look, I'm collecting up the bedding, getting ready to nest. So yeah, we'll be with Annie from our education team at the Stumptown Macaque House. We've put up some worksheets earlier in this week. If you scroll back a couple of days, you'll see there's a couple of worksheets for your little monkeys at home to dig into and have a little bit of a breakthrough their normal homeschooling. If they're into primates, animals, conservation, or just want a bit of project work, it's a nice one to do. All about the requirements that our Stumptown macaques needed when they came to us from those laboratory homes. So Annie will run a short live lesson telling us all about the Stumptown macaques and their rescues, and answer any questions you have from those worksheets as well. So I'll pop that up later. Yeah, Emily, our PCS are the window cleaners. So they do all the primary windows as well. They're busy, busy people. Brenda, I'm really glad you enjoyed the video of Hananya's group. Yeah, we're going to do another one, hopefully next week of maybe at Twan's. We're also trying to set one up for the Woolly Monkeys, the Bachelor Woolly Monkey group. See those guys now? Him sat there all quietly. Butter wouldn't melt. And also the Gibbons, maybe the week after next. So do let me know who you want to see, where you want to go. We'll try and get them around. If you want to go directly to your favourites and you don't want to wait around for the live tours to be there, you can also book a Zoom tour. It's with either myself or Annie from our education team. We'll take you around the park. We can also take you to areas you wouldn't normally go. So behind the scenes, kind of up feeding towers, and as much behind the scenes as we can go safely. And we can also try and set things up. So if you've got a particular favourite, you want to go and see a feeding at the orangutan house, we can try and make sure your Zoom tour coincides with that so you can get a really good view of your favourites. If you want more information about that, it's on our website again. There is a tab saying visit us virtually where all this information is up now, but you can also just email us education@monkeyworld.org. Okay. So Kiki's starting to build her bed there at the back. Very quietly and neatly. Thank you, Kana, for the stars. I could see them all coming in as I was talking. Thank you so much for everyone. Annette sent stars. Kana sent loads, thank you. And Derek, thank you. Elaine, thank you. And Grace, thank you so much. Yeah, they if you send stars and send a comment, they do pop up. So I tend to lose the comments I'm looking at, but I do see those ones as well. So Lisa wants to know what the nests look like. You'll see they're building them now. So they use the blankets, wood, wool and straw. It's all preference and what each individual likes to build. You see Kiki likes quite a big one. She's pulling it away from whoever's just popped into the corner there. I can't quite see. But yeah, some will, there's Tutti building hers, gather all the gather up into a big cushy bed to sit on and then wrap it around themselves as well. And some will either use a hose or they'll use one of the blankets to put over themselves at the end as well, so they tuck themselves in. So usually when you come in here in about an hour's time, all this wood wool that's on the floor currently and all the blankets on the floor will all be scooped up and will all be on platforms in beautiful mounds like these guys are building here. It'll be really nice and cosy. Celia, yeah, Honey does make quite an impressive bed. Hananyas is usually quite weedy. Kiki's being very careful about selecting what she wants. Kana, no, they don't really sleep in the same space every night. Some do have preferences, but depending on their rank, they might not always get their preference space. Emily wants to know what degrees do you have to get to work as a primate care staff. Animal experience is really important. Any experience with primates is really important, especially here because we're working with rescued primates. So they've come from lots of different issues as well. Any biology, zoology degrees are the ones that are really going to help you with any work with primates. Okay. This is Evelyn making her bed now. You see at the top there, someone's very cosy. Right guys, I was going to start wrapping up. Oh, Liam, sorry, can you please read my comment out quickly? Can you let me know what week you're going to be doing Brian's group and Lulu, because you're reading comment out too fast, sorry. Sorry if I spoke too fast. I'm trying to get through a lot of the comments all at once. We haven't got a plan for Brian and Lulu's group yet. So keep an eye on the Facebook page. We will advertise it beforehand, and then you'll see and hopefully catch it. If you don't catch it live, the recordings are all up online as well. Our last few questions. Do you leave the lights on at night? No, the lights get switched off. So they go to bed. Joanne, do they ever steal each other's nest? Yes. There's quite a few who are quite good at seeing someone else build a nice big nest and then they just go and push them out of it, especially if they're high ranking. It seemed to work quite well for them. Brenda, yep, if we need to, we do sleep on premises. And these guys are monitored through the night. Okay. Right. That little picture of contentment and bliss up there. In bed, nice and cosy. Liam, we don't have any webcams you can see on our website. No, we don't have that. So the lives are the only live thing you can see at the moment. Kind of, we don't go in with them anyway. So it doesn't matter whether the lights are on and off. We make sure they're safe and then we switch the lights off. Karen, if you want to book a Zoom tour, email us at education@monkeyworld.org and we'll book that in for you. Okay, I will try and catch up on any questions that come in later. If not, I will see you tomorrow. We'll do a live at the Stumptown Macaque House. Have a really good evening. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for your support as always, and I hope to see you soon.